Okay, so we're back on again. It's Thursday, April the 15th. Yeah. So we're back on again with Blue Table Talk. Hello, I'm your host, Deborah Jones. And tonight we have one of the candidates for city councilman at large. But before we introduce him, I always have to do my little housekeeping. We're just talking about COVID. Don't forget that you need to get your COVID shot. If you haven't received it, I just got a text where Antioch Missionary Baptist Church is doing COVID shots tomorrow, vaccines tomorrow. So if you want to get your COVID vaccine, maybe you need to call them before you go. They didn't give that much information, but they just text and said that they were doing it. Also, the city of Beaumont still doing the COVID vaccine. And Krista's Promptu is doing it. And there are several CVS, Walgreens, there are a lot of those places are doing, but I'm sure you have to, with those places, you have to go online and sign up for it. And they have to register you for it. And so, after that, then go ahead and do it's either Moderna or Pfizer. They took the Johnson & Johnson off it's on a pause right now due to some certain circumstances. But the Pfizer and the Moderna are still accurate, so you can go ahead and do those. I think the Pfizer, you take the first and wait 21 days, and then take the second. And with the Moderna, you take the first one and wait 28 days. So with how many days you need to wait, then that's what you need to do. Okay, so if you think you have COVID, you can go to Beaumont Urgent Care. That's on Major Drive, and they would test you for it. I think they need your insurance, so just take your insurance out there. Also, you can go to MD Kids Pediatrics. That's on I-10 North Frontage Road. That's Suite 100, and they need your insurance also. I don't know that if you don't have insurance that you have to pay up front. But I'm certain you do. But if you have to pay, then do what you have to do to get yourself well. Christmas Pronto on Darlin, they also give the vaccine and the test to see if you have COVID. But they test for COVID on Saturdays only. The rest of the days they do the vaccine. Look like President Biden said that he wants at least 100% people with their COVID have taken their vaccine. So, with that being said, that we're not there yet, but he's getting close to it within his first 100 days. So he's getting close to whatever he needed. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do what we need to do and take our vaccine and be careful because that COVID is real. There are a lot of people who've been passing from it, and so we don't want to see that. But my heart goes out to those who lost in their family. My heart goes out to you. But do what you need to do. Use the 3 W's: wear your mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Those are 3 W's that you need to do. Even though you've taken the vaccines and you are fully vaccinated, you still need to do the 3 W's. Okay, so let's do that and we'll be okay. Okay, so let's talk about the voting, because voting is coming up really, really soon. Let's say like Monday. How about that? Monday is voting day, April the 19th through the 27th. We'll vote from 8 to 5 on Monday. Then the week after, you have 2 more days. Then that Monday and Tuesday, and it's from 7 to 7. So Monday, like I said, Monday starts 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and Monday through Saturday, excuse me. And then on Monday, the following Monday, it's from 7 to 7, and also that Tuesday. Let's see. We have for mayor, who's running for mayor. We have Roy West, Begita Hernandez Smith, W.L. Pate, Robin Mouton, and Sean Proctor. Those are the people who are running for mayor. Also, we have at large, we have Albert A.J. Turner, Randy Philshaw, James Eller Jr., Elias Ibarra, Brian Nufo, and Tahara Kawashi. Those are at large members. Ward 1, we have Taylor Neal, he's unopposed. Ward 2, we have Mike Guest, Niall Haynes, and Alfred Dean. That's Ward 2. Ward 3, we have Audrey Samuel and Robert Walker. And Ward 4, we have Brandon Johnson, Kevin Reese, Charles Durio. And don't forget, because we always forget about our school board. And our school board, we have Stacy Lewis. District 2, we have Stacy Lewis Jr. and Kendall Grimes. And trustee, we have Woodrow Reese, who is he's District 3, he is unopposed. District 5, we have Tilly Hickman, she's unopposed. And then that's it. That's it for school board. So don't forget to don't forget the school board, because they are like, well, I was trying to say they're needed also, because we need our school board members and we need them in
Oh,
there. Yeah, so we need them in there. Also, if you need to download, go to Jefferson County sample ballot and get your sample ballot so you can see the propositions. Let me see. Here you go, the propositions, and there are like 16 propositions that you need to look at. You really, really, really need to look at those propositions and to see what's what, if you're for it or if you're against it. So just don't go in there blindfolded, and get those propositions off the computer, and then go through it. Read them. I don't know how many times I got to say read them. We need to read them. Okay. So tonight we have with us we have James Eller. Hi. He's running for city councilman at large. Hey, Mr. Eller, how you
hey,
doing?
how y'all?
Good. Good to see you
I'm
again.
doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Thank you for yes, ma'am. Thank you for letting me be on the show. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
hey, my pleasure. And the two of us
Uh,
right now, we have like a little feedback, a little wait time. So if he comes in like way after me, then don't worry about it. He's coming in. Just a little tad setback on it.
right, no doubt.
So let me ask you a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Before I ask you a question, let me introduce yourself to us, because a lot of people do not know you,
Okay.
and they say, "Who is James L?"
Yes,
Nobody
ma'am.
knows. So introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I'm James Eller Jr., born and raised Beaumont, Texas, 42 years. About to celebrate my 43rd birthday, April 22nd. So happy birthday to me ahead of time.
Hey,
So, like I say, this might be a birthday gift if y'all can elect me on in there. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, like I say, I'm born and raised Beaumont, Texas, and I surely enjoy and love this city. I've grown up here. I've seen a lot and done a lot myself. I've worked myself from the ground on up, and don't hold myself above anybody else. I'm ground level baby. I accept being just who I am, and I appreciate all the opportunities that I've been given, that I've earned, that I've learned through all the troubles and trials that I've been through in my life, and I appreciate it. And like I said, I use that in my everyday, and I use that to pass on to help other people or just deal with other problems that they deal with. So, like I said, that's me. That's me in a nutshell, basically. Real simple guy, really simple guy, and down to earth, and care about my community. Love each and everybody that I come across. It could be my enemy. I had a guy that stole all of my lawn equipment off of my trailer one time, and I just was able to forgive him last time that he was shopping in a store that I just was working at. Um, and I didn't receive anything back from it. You know what I mean? So it's like I let it be, and I let God do His work. And trust me, I'm gonna end up being where He wants me, to be regardless. So I'm not worried too much about things.
oh no, you don't have to worry about it, because God will take care of you. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
Yes,
Allen,
ma'am. All day long. Yes, ma'am.
all day long, all day long. So, like I said, don't worry about him. It's a little,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, just a little bit of feedback right now. Not feedback, but a little setback right now, because he hear
Right.
me, but he's gonna come in a little bit late,
Right.
right behind me. Okay, okay. So,
Right. Right. Right.
why are you interested in this position, and what prepared you for it?
Oh, I've been doing it. That's one thing. Is I've been a citizen, like everybody else, but I've been doing the job as a councilman for about 3 years now. See, some people know me, some people don't from what I've done, because I don't sit there and broadcast of every single thing that I do. Word of mouth spreads, though, right? So I mean, what I do is mainly from individuals that, or what I do is spreaded by individuals that I've helped out along the way. I mean, there's from water line leaks to sewer to pothole repairs to issues with construction that I've gotten handled for citizens. And I've already been doing it all the way from out towards Lawrence Drive all the way to the south end of Beaumont, to Victoria Street and further. I've always been involved. I have a page called Beaumont, Texas Information Station. And that's when I really started picking up on all the flaws that the city has and the ways that they've been doing it for a long time. So I basically started becoming an at large position, which I'm running for now officially. I've been an at large unofficially for about 3 years now, uh, being and doing for the people. I've been a people servant for a long time. When the city of Beaumont doesn't do anything for certain, occasions, let's say for like the winter storm, people had needs for pets to have hay. I went and bought $200 worth of hay and had it at my property over here for people to come and pick up and provide for their animals because the stores were sold out, everywhere. And the city of Beaumont will tell you that you're supposed to bring your animals inside in cold weather. But the deal is if you can't bring those animals inside, then are you going to help the community out with $200 worth of hay? No, they didn't. So I took that upon myself to go ahead and take care of that. I went ahead and got the water turn off, the water turnoffs that were occurring on Fridays. Whenever the city of Beaumont didn't have anybody to cut the water on during the weekend, so they didn't have a service tech, but they were still cutting people's water off on Fridays. So if your bill didn't post with the city of Beaumont, and this came across, I'm gonna back up a second. This came across because of a buddy of mine. They paid 300 and something dollars on a water bill. Ended up that it pulled out their checking. Well, whenever they went to go turn on their own service because they were like, hey, well, we need water. It was like, I think that they turned it on over Thursday night to Friday. Well, the city came back by and found out that it was on, so they pulled the meter. So it ended up that that was whenever the bill was turned into 300 and some dollars or something for them to cut it on. It didn't post or something, one way or another. They ended up not having water all weekend, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The city of Beaumont doesn't have a call out service. They hell charged me $40 fee to come cut it back on, but at least give me that option. Well, the city of Beaumont, in 180 years of existence, no council member, no at large, no mayor, no ward member, none of them have ever come up with the idea of why are we cutting off people's water on a Friday whenever we don't have a service tax for the weekends to cut it back on? So if there is a Monday and it's a holiday, like let's say if a veterans holiday or something like that, let's say that that falls on a Monday, then that means your water will be turned off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You will not have water to cook with, bathe with, flush with. And you mean to tell me that these council members represent us as the citizens and they're not thinking out the box? They're not even thinking in the box. They're not thinking about the same rules that they're creating, the ordinances that they're making. They're not thinking about the what it actually does to our citizens. I thought about that. I was like, well, you know what? That's pretty stupid. So I contacted a couple of councilmen and they voted for it 7-0.
Hmm.
Well, deal is if you can vote for it 7-0 and it makes so much sense to not have that going on Friday, why weren't you thinking that up? Has that not come across the council before that people don't need their water cut off on a Friday and cut back on a Tuesday? It baffles me the mindset of our council, and it's been like that. And I'm going to say it again: 180 years, for however long
Yeah.
Beaumont's been in existence, and however long that water services has been given. I'm just saying that the city of Beaumont has existed for 180 years, and nobody thought about that. Like, what are y'all doing if you're not serving the people? So, like I
Right.
said, I serve the people. I've been doing it for 3 years. And whenever I come across problems, I try and think until I can solve it. And then I pass on the knowledge. So I come up with innovative ideals and visionary ideas, or I can come up with the same ideals that somebody else in another city, implements and it
Right.
works there. So why aren't we doing it here?
You work here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's common sense solutions that I bring to the table. So if we don't have council members that go up there with a vision, an ideal, besides reading a book, oh, anybody can read a book. Anybody can read an ordinance book. They can read a way that the citizens want them to do something. But if you get up there and you can't do the job, you can't think up something, you can't come up with a vision yourself, why are you there? We
Yeah.
need people to think out of the box. We need people to not just allow a city manager to do everything the way he wants to do it. We need a council that brings it to the table, doesn't accept somebody else to bring it to the table and then you vote on it. I want a council whenever I go vote this May 1st or if I do the early voting in April 19th to 27th, I want to make sure that I have a council, one way or another, if I win or not. I want to make sure my council thinks outside the box. I want to
Right.
make sure that our council is better than the last. And this time is a big change. And I truly believe we're going to have a big old shift, that we're going to get a lot of individuals changed out, where we're going to
But
have that new, inventive, young blood.
there's a lot of people that are really upset.
What's that again?
There's a lot of people that's really upset about everything, really everything. But I'm gonna pose this question to you,
Yeah.
because
Yes, ma'am.
I asked him when we had that
Yes,
debate,
ma'am.
Sugars, I asked them the candidates who were
Hmm.
running for mayor this question. I'm asking to you because you have the mayor, then you have the city at large, and city at large is right up there where the mayor is. So I'm asking you this
Yes.
question. Um,
Yes.
since you're right there,
Hmm.
would you consider changing our municipal charter to give more power to the city council rather than city manager, by changing to mayor council from council mayor as we operate today?
I would rather the council, instead of basically, the city manager basically does every single thing, right? That's our system right now. Well, deal is the council doesn't have any other control besides to fire the city manager, but the city manager can still do whatever he wants to do. I don't
Right.
like that. I don't like that the citizens elect the officials, and then the officials have to rely on an experienced or unexperienced individual. I'm not clear on if our city manager is completely capable of doing all the tasks that are required, and the department heads that are underneath him. So I'm not completely sure if those individuals can do those jobs. So no, I would like to see a council represented by the people, and vice versa. I would like to see them make all the calls. It
Yeah.
doesn't, there was a thing, oh, well, WOP just said, well, then that means we'd have to, each council member would have to get paid 100,000. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. You can still get paid. You're going up there and you're voting the same way on policies. You're not doing nothing different. You still have to have the city manager to actually do his position. So
Right.
all you're doing is telling the city manager what you want him to do out of that. And they're already technically doing that now. However, the city manager has the okay and say so of what will or can't happen. Reverse that part only. Just make it where the council says, no, you cannot do that. Yes, you can do that. And then that's it, and full control. You make it where the city manager doesn't have the full control. So why would it be that each council member has to get paid $100,000? They don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You don't have to, because they're already up there doing the same voting on what needs to be done on the stuff anyway. So nothing has to change. Nobody has to get paid more. Nothing has to be added to the budget. Uh, all they got to do is just take away that power where the city manager just can't run off and do whatever. And the city manager would actually have to come back and make sure that before he does something, that he has to make sure that it's okay with them first.
With them first, right? It seems like, to me, it's like the value of a dollar. So that's what it seems like to me. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right,
at large council
right.
member.
I mean,
And
look at.
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say. Now, look at it. What I was going to say. Uh, don't worry about it. I lost train of thought. I was thinking about, like I said, the city manager's position. That delay just messed me up. No, got me. No, but yeah, go ahead.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we'll
Okay.
get it. No problem.
At
Yes, ma'am.
large council members represent the entire city. What's your commitment to
Yes, ma'am.
citizens of each ward for equal services and fund allocations, especially wards 3 and 4?
Well, see, I said this at Sugars just recently. I said that temporarily, I think 3 and 4, since I believe 3 and 4 brings in the most tax dollars with the plant, with Lamar, with the Port of Beaumont, and with all the downtown lawyer firms. Because whenever they make a big old lawsuit, we get a chunk of that. As far as I understand, it's just like regular tax money. We get a percentage out of that tax money. They can't just collect. $100 million and then we get $5 out of it, we're still getting a certain percentage out of that, right? So
Mhm.
just like an hourly fee anywhere else, we're still charging them the hourly labor fees as well. We're getting some kind of taxes out of all their dollars. So if these individuals downtown, Lamar and the Port of Beaumont, and ExxonMobil, I think I forgot them the first time, that if they're pulling, which I believe the highest tax dollars, the revenue into Beaumont, uh, they actually need to invest more in 3 and 4 first to catch 3 and 4 up to levels 1 and 2, Ward 1 and 2. Then we can start with the equal distribution. We can't just start with somebody said it's 25, 25, 25, 25. We can't do that. We actually have to reinvest more to 3 and 4 because they've been basically neglected for so long. And if they haven't been technically, quote unquote, neglected, it's still the older areas, so they actually need a whole lot more. Regardless, invested into them with the infrastructure one way or another, because we still have the oldest infrastructure in 3 and 4, then Ward 1, and then after that, then we got the West End 2, and 2 is growing. So it's all new stuff going out towards 2. Everything else is landlocked. 3, 4, and then 1. It's all landlocked, so that's all older infrastructure. We need to work on 3, 4, and 1, and then after that, go to 2.
Mhm.
We have to reinvest in Ward 3 and 4 first. And like I
Right.
said, that they're pulling in, I believe, the most tax dollars, regardless of the many homes that are in 2 and 1, and the expensive homes in 1 and 2. I don't believe that those tax dollars equal up to the same amount as all the homes in 3 and 4 and all the businesses in 3 and 4, and then plus the refinery, Lamar, Port of Beaumont, lawyers, downtown area, the big old business, big old high rises that draw in a lot of tax revenue regardless. Just let's say the AT&T building alone, the former AT&T building alone, I think was quoted at maybe 100 and something $1,000 a year tax money. The
Right.
former HEB over here in Ward 3 on Lucas, that's pulling in, they said, $85,000 tax revenue by itself, just sitting blank, right? So, I mean, all these big businesses that are in this
Yeah.
ward are pulling in a lot of money. However, we're not seeing that chunks of it.
Mhm.
We got still bad infrastructure in 3 and 4.
Right.
We
Right.
need
Right.
to play catch up.
With that being said, what balance of housing types, affordable, market rate, permanent, supportive, do you envision for the city?
I do not like how current city plans are set up, and I saw some drawings about the possible Dallin Road extension, right? How this would be mixed in with commercial and then home, this and that. I think that we're setting ourselves up to landlock everything that we do because of the designers of the roads and whatnot. I think that we need a whole bunch of more changes to the policies on homes, even in let's speak on it with Ward 3 and 4. In those areas right there, there's a lot of undeveloped land right now. It might be owned, but yet there's nothing developed on it because we still have it set up where you have to build basically a standard family home. We don't have situations where somebody can come in and build a tiny home. Like
Mm-hmm.
tiny homes are more efficient. You could go ahead and put, in one lot, right? I got a property over here in the Old Town area, and that lot alone could probably support, if there was just tiny homes on there, probably 800 square feet, or not even that much, in fact, 500 square feet or something like that, something small, real small, and you can build a comfortable tiny home sitting on top of a 16-foot long trailer. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine if you put that on the ground, right? So if you
Right.
put a tiny home on the ground, which is, it's probably less than that. It's probably maybe 400 feet, 300 feet, something like that, square feet. You can still have everything you need in a 2 story or 1 story, kitchen, bath, and bed, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to have individuals that have these big homes, and you can have single. You can have a guy that's fresh out of mom and dad's house. He needs somewhere to stay. He can build a tiny home for a couple $1,000s. And then if that have a home, official home, an address, a place to learn how to live, get groceries, go home, cook, You know, we need to change the actual ideal of what a home is. We have to give the affordability to each and everybody. Instead of these same individuals, they could buy a tiny home or put it together for a few, $1,000, or they're going to be renting for a few $1,000s a month, and the price is just going up on rent, right? So do we want people to be responsible and to learn how to live on their own and to own something, or do we want them to just live day by day and have to go to work and bust their backs every single day just to earn a living, just to pay rent and barely get by? Like, we need to eliminate that, and we need to give them more possibilities. So I see a possibility, and I mean, there's possibilities because it's working in other areas all over the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people that get shipping containers, for $2,400 and get them delivered. All total for $2,400, you can get them from Houston right now for that much. Delivered, I believe, on spot for that account, that much. 40-foot long or maybe even longer cargo metal containers. You can throw everything inside of it.
Right.
So we don't have that option. We could have that option here, but we don't have individuals that will think outside the box. Like I said before, we don't have common sense individuals. We have old school individuals that are set up with traditional ways and don't nobody want to, don't mess with tradition. Tradition has to change sometimes. It's good to have your historical areas and this and that, but then I love seeing innovation. I love to see new ideas. I love to see progression. I love to see people coming up with this new platform on, you know, taking even, let's say, containers like that, putting them in the middle of in the woods, and then putting a big old glass wall as the whole front living room. You know what I mean? Like the ideal of what people come up with in some of these little Pinterest photos.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just out the box, and you think that nobody would thought of it, and then they do, and we can't do it. We don't have they won't allow us to do it. Why? There's no reason why we can't. They just won't allow us. We need to change all that. We need to put people in office that will actually change that and allow it.
And allow
It'll
it.
help us out. I think it'll help us out dramatically to allow individuals the possibilities to have affordable housing in all shapes and forms. Not just Section 8 or something like that, or lower cost based income. I'm talking about ownership.
Ownership.
And
Right.
these are ownership possibilities that we need to explore, and they work everywhere. Why is Beaumont so stubborn? It's because of the elected officials. It's
Right.
because of, hold on, it's not just because of the elected officials, it's also because of the city manager. Because whatever
Mm-hmm.
the city manager says is okay. But whatever he doesn't say or she doesn't say, whichever way that goes in the future, that's that's why we need to change that whole demographic. We need to change it where this council that speaks for the people, and if the people are speaking and saying that they want this, we need to listen. We need to make it
So,
happen.
well, tell the viewers how the chain of command is. You have your city manager, then your mayor, or how does it go? And then your
I
councilman.
mean, technically, the council is above the city manager. However, the city manager still has control over everything budget wise and everything else. So he sort of has free reign on what he does and doesn't want to say can work in the budget. So, I mean, it's still the council has the power. They have the power to fire him at any moment. Like, without cause, they can get rid of him right now. However, the system is set up where they're not doing checks and balances. It's
Right.
just a free reign city manager type thing where he has free run of the mill, or she. Like I said, I just don't want to. I'm not going to pick just on Kyle Hayes. That's our current city manager. I'm just saying the position. So the city manager has free reign on what they want to do, whoever that might be in the near future or now, or even in the past. If city manager has controlled everything and made it uh, their goal that they want to push, it should be the citizens and via through the council. I mean, and it's there already, right? It's there already. The city council pushes agendas here and there. However, they still don't. They don't have that vision. I
Right.
don't see them coming up with the ideals. That's what I don't get. So you place the hey, well, we need to increase this, city manager. What do we need to do? So then the city manager says, well, I'm going to call around these people, and find out what they would do to do this. Well, deal is that puts all the control into the city manager's hands. Therefore, the city manager can go buck wild if he wants to spend a dollar, and there's no checks and balances. Like the only checks and balances come up is whenever the vote comes on the subject. But beyond that, none of the city council are sitting there calling around and saying, "Hey, well, why is this? Well, we needed solar power. Well, did you check with this other company in Greenland? Did you check with Did you check out of state? So they leave it all up to the city manager, and we get what we get, and then they vote on it. The top three or whatever, I think it's like the top three companies that bid or whoever bids, because sometimes they put it out there and there's no companies that bid, but there's a lot of out of city, definitely out of city, sometimes out of state companies that bid on all of our stuff. So we also lose that tax dollar. I would rather train all of our individuals in house and save that money and keep it in Beaumont. I don't want no money to leave Beaumont. We have the individual. If they can do it over there, we can do it over here.
Yeah.
I come from the construction form. Like, I mean, I've worked at the gas company. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen labor. I've seen. What's that?
I said we don't need the money to leave Beaumont. You know. So I don't know.
Right, right. We
Hold on.
need the money here. We need all the tax.
We
Yeah,
need every penny.
yeah. We need all those tax dollars here.
Right. Right. For
Yeah,
for those of you who are
we're throwing them out.
for those of you who are listening right now, please hit your share button so you can share this, because this is one of the candidates for city councilman at large, and we will be voting next week, starting Monday, from 8 to 5. And so people need to know who they need to vote for. So this is one of the candidates for city councilman at large. Okay, Mr. Eller, I'm actually a question, because I'm kind of furious about this right now, because
Yes.
now today
Uh-huh.
they had a meeting with BISD and the city about the crossing guards. It was the vote was
Right.
7-0. They voted. They're not paying for the crossing guards. So
Right.
I,
Right.
now they put it back in BISD hands, and I think
Right.
that's what's your take on that? Because I don't like it, because
We're collect.
we need our crossing guards.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom was a teacher, right? And the crossing guards all around the area are a vital necessity that we need to make sure our children cross these busy streets. The city of Beaumont hasn't put up stoplights, have they? So therefore, we need crossing guards. We don't have flashing. That's what we're going to end up doing. Is if we don't have crossing guards, that we're going to end up having the fun yellow lights flashing at all these areas that the crossing guards used to stand at. Because why? Because children need to cross safely.
Mm-hmm.
But is a yellow light going to stop a drunk driver? Is a yellow light going to pay attention, to somebody speeding up and not paying attention because they're texting on their phone? No, a crossing guard will. A crossing guard will either stand there, grab a kid, run the kids out the street, whatever, or no, stay over there, something. But a yellow light will not do it. But we will end up having incidents.
Right.
Just like we had on the Northwest Parkway or whatever. We're having people pull out of Northwest Parkway onto Major and get hit. Well, it's because why? Because they didn't put up a red light. Oh, because that's text dot. Well, y'all didn't get text dot on form whenever y'all were going to build the road. Like y'all didn't get the prior notification and get the authority to go ahead and build the road, to then go ahead and say, by the time we get to the end from A to Z, we need a red light there. No, they went ahead and built the road. And then after that, now we got people that are getting injured. Well, we're going to have that same thing with kids. If we don't have somebody, parents, teachers, or crossing guards, we're going to have flashing yellow lights. But a flashing yellow light is not going to say, hey, kid, watch that approaching vehicle.
Mm-mm.
We're going to have kids that are going to get injured. And it's because the city of Beaumont.
Yeah, you already know those children run out in the middle of the
Yeah,
street.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
and the
So
drivers,
we have the city of Beaumont once again. Mhm.
go ahead.
City of Beaumont once again is being cheap. Just like whenever they were supposed to get some airboats a long time back, they called one of the largest airboat manufacturers in the U.S. and they said, "Hey, can we get a better deal?" And the airboat company in Orange, Texas, our local neighbors, said, "No, this is what we can sell them to you at. You know, if you need rescue airboats, then this is what we have." So it
Mm,
ends up that they were being too cheap, and now we got people in the waters whenever it floods like Harvey. So we rely on others to take care of everything we need while the city of Beaumont has a healthy $44 million budget, bank account, my bad, not
yeah,
budget, bank account. They got
mm,
that money sitting there collecting interest. However, let's not fund anything to take care of our kids. Let's not make sure that our kids get walked across the street safely. Doesn't make any sense. But we can pay city managers. We're currently paying like almost, I think it's 1.5 million, something like that, to the attorney's office for the city of Beaumont. I think it's something around the same amount, about 1 million, something like that, for the city manager's office. So it's
wow.
like, so you got money there, but you ain't got money for kids.
For those children, right? For our
Like I
baby.
mean, the information, yeah, the information is on the City Beaumont website. You can look up all the information. I'm just rounding up here and there, rounding down here and there, because it could be more, a little bit less, but it's around that, about $1 million or more on the city manager side, and then 1.5 million on the attorney side. But we ain't got a little bit for the kids. So, but we had a incumbent. One of the
But,
incumbents said, you know, if it comes up again, I'd vote different. But it
yeah,
just came up, so you're
right.
not voting different because it was 7-0, all in favor, right?
Mhm,
But
right.
yet he just spoke. He just spoke about it and said, if it comes up again, I think that I would vote differently.
Mm-hmm.
7-0. Is there 8 members? Is there 8 members that I did? I thought that there were 7 members in the council.
It's
There's
7
7 members, and I think that they all voted the same way.
7-0. Mm-hmm.
So that's
So
that good look though. Yeah.
good look
I'll
at
vote
what?
I'll vote differently next time. This
Yeah,
time though.
yeah. Next time when I get the vote again, but
Right.
BISD is not giving the school board is not giving up. They're coming back on it again
No,
because they
they
want
need to.
take care of the
Yeah.
baby. You know.
Yeah.
So
Need to.
yeah. So what police reforms, if any, would you implement?
Like I said at Sugars, and I'll speak on it again for the listeners might have not heard me that time. See, I was assaulted by BPD before, and I've had friends that were. And deal is we need to get more personal interactions with our police department, one on ones. Deal is not everybody comes from a cookie cutter background, and it's not all good all the time. White, black, Mexican, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. It's not cookie cutter. So deal is I was unfairly treated. 17 years old, I got an elbow in my neck and crushed into the back seat until the guy bust my lip open. And I'm telling him it hurts, and he pushed harder than tried to. I mean, he could have, if he wanted to, he could have snapped my neck. I was a littler guy at the time too, but he was just aggressively pushing my neck into the back of the seat. Well, he ended up, like I said, later on, years. This has been years later. He retired from the BPD. He ended up putting a bullet through his own head because he was molesting his stepdaughter, and he didn't want to get caught. So these individuals, like I said at the time, I tried to stop, or my mom tried to stop because I was still a minor. My mom tried to stop individuals like that, but these individuals exist out there. Not all good, not all bad cops. Not all good, not all bad citizens. Same way, both ways, right? And I think that that's where I stopped it at Sugars was, not all citizens or cops are bad or good. We need to have more citizen and police interactions. Hell, I would love to see the fire department. You know what I'm saying? Like do community events. I mean, same thing. Like all. It would be great for like we have now. We're looking as the police department is looking for new hires. They're looking for people to hire. Well, how are you going to hire anybody if you're not? having community events to educate the youngsters. Look at this good job that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you can make a change. You can
Mm.
be part of something. You need to have these community events to meet and greet with up and coming heroes, as they say on the back of the hire to be a hero or something like that.
Right.
Cool. Well,
Hmm.
come meet these new heroes that are growing up. But instead, you're not coming to meet and greet with them. I live across the way from a Section 8 housing complex, and deal is, you know what? I bet you they got some heroes over there, you know? But yet, nobody's over there meeting and greeting.
Greeting, no,
Nobody's over there spending time playing basketball, football, or volleyball, or whatever with them. Yeah, nobody's playing catch with them. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
so. Deal is you're not going to get these individuals. You're not going to get these individuals that are from here that are going to become policemen here. You're going to get individuals from Lumberton, Port Neches, Groves, Port Arthur, out of
right,
town that drive in here. That really, at the end of the day, their dollars are going other places. One, then two is they can't wait to clock off, clock out and go home. And I want somebody that lives here, that breathes here, sleeps here, eats here, spends their time and money here and their energy here, just like I do. I want you to see the children here growing up as children. I don't want you to see them as future problems.
right.
I want you to interact with them. I want community policing. I want individuals to not just clock in and be on a badge. I want you to come and visit like I said, visit with some of these kids, not just at the schools for career day, if that still goes on or not. I don't have kids, so I wish that they had still something like that, and hopefully they do. Um, but like I said, there's plenty underdeveloped areas in Beaumont that deserve the attention from authority figures to show kids what they can become and show a good, a good positive hero basically to these kids. And while they're doing that, they can also be basically interacting with other individuals that might be doing wrong, but at least that they're face on face and you're being able to talk to them at the same time, because you're dealing with their little brothers and you're helping their little brothers out. Whenever they went wrong, they can see that you're helping their little brothers or little sisters out. So then they're like, man, you know what, that old James, that Officer James is a good dude, man. I'm gonna give him a break the same way that he gave my little bro a break. So therefore, there's camaraderie. There's a camaraderie in between, the police and even the individuals that might be breaking the law. They might be turning their ways by the social interactions, but we have to get that community based policing going on.
So what would you do to improve race relations and eradicate institutionalized racism in the city?
Uh, there's,
Because we got a lot of
I
that.
mean, that's a big,
That's a big question.
yeah. I mean, that's a big, yeah. It's a big question. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's a big question. See, my thing is like I've been working on for a few months now, and I get tired of hearing the defeatist mentality of some council members saying, well, we have it over here, well, we don't need it over there.
Right.
Huh? Like, so the West End has basically 8 grocery stores. They got about 8 grocery stores in the West End. So if there's one grocery store in the West End that closes down, nobody's going to miss it because there's other options. The North End has one. The South End has one, two, or one, and they share the one on College, basically. And I would say the East End
Right.
basically has, or the Southeast End basically has one. So they all have one. These are predominantly minority communities, and it doesn't matter on who's living there or not, they're still being underserved. So let's start making sure that individuals have the same opportunities. Okay, so we have to start at some of the basic levels. Infrastructure plays a part on that as well. So if you're going to grow up driving out of your, you know, driveway every day to school as a kid, and your mom has to dodge potholes on the way to school every day, this and that, or you got to ride your bike and there's no sidewalks, or the sidewalks are bumpy because trees then knocked up the root, this and that, right? While other areas of town have all this fresh cement, brick laid, da da da, nice fancy stuff, you're gonna look at it differently, 100%. You're gonna look at, you know what, we ain't got nothing, so I don't care neither. So there's the pride. Where's the pride going to go if you don't have the same opportunities as other individuals around Beaumont?
Mm-hmm.
So we are heavily, like I said before, we are heavily investing in the Ward 1 and Ward 2 on all kinds of things: sidewalks, streets, drainage, blah, 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 this and that, nice new stuff. But yet, Ward 3 and 4, we're not getting it.
Right.
So I've said this before, and I say this. I've said a couple things before. Ward 3. Let's play the devil's advocate real quick. So Ward 3. Let's say on one side, it's completely Alwyn Samuel's fault. He's the ward member, and he's been in, policy, or seat for so long. It's all his fault, right? Then we got to raise the question: why hasn't other ward members, why
Mhm.
hasn't at-large members, because two at-large members and one mayor, with that ward member equals 4 votes, and that's the majority out of
Right.
7 votes. So
Mm-hmm.
why is it that 4, even if Alwyn Samuel votes for something, why hasn't these other 3 individuals or another ward member kick in and say, you know what, I see your plight, I see your problem, I see what you need done in your area, I want to help. What can I do from my ward to reach out my hand to help you? So, like I say, for the longest, I've blamed Alwyn Samuels. Not gonna lie, 100%. But then I look at how council works and how these individuals don't reach out to the other areas, and I wonder, why has Beaumont Drive just got asphalt laid over concrete and it's bumpy, right from Margot to Shivers, like 300 feet. That's it. Then you drive down 23rd, and either that's Ward 1 or Ward 2. I'm not sure the area, but you drive down 23rd over there by Wheat, all the way from Delaware, all the way, well, not Delaware, Gladys, all the way from Gladys to Austin Drive. And they got concrete cut out, new rebar placed in, new concrete, new curbs cut out.
It's
I
set
mean, it's
together.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, how is it that you got taxpayers on Beaumont Drive, though? They're paying the taxes. I don't care what they pay. It don't matter if they got, if they're paying $1,000 a year or if they're paying $4,000 a year. It don't matter. Your your tax dollar shouldn't dictate, how much you spend on your taxes shouldn't dictate the quality that you get in your neighborhoods. You should get top quality, 100%. Or the job just shouldn't be done anywhere. You cannot give concrete in one area and give asphalt laid over concrete in another and not even smooth correctly, like not enough to make it where it's packed down smooth. So you put it down there enough where then you roll on it, not even with a steamroller, because obviously it can't be. It couldn't have been, being that now it's, again,
Right.
like, you're not investing the same way in all areas.
Right.
So, like I said, I don't, and that's also, that has to do with who controls the dollar. And who controls the dollar is the city manager. And the city manager is above the departments. And whenever the departments say, okay, well, we need to do something over here, well, the department heads have to ask the city manager, what do we do? And that's what you get. Is it okayed by the council? I'm not sure. I would think that there would be a general rule of what you give to one, you give to the other. We're all sisters and brothers in one family household. This is Beaumont. This is our house. So therefore, when you give to Tim, you got to give to Susie the same way. Whenever you give to Susie, you got to give to Abigail. Whenever you give to Abigail, you got to give to Shamika. You got to give the same way all the way through, or don't give at all. It
I,
has to be an equality to this. There has to be an equality setup to make sure that everybody feels equally represented, or you just don't do it.
right. I said in a council a meeting
What's
with,
that?
I sat in a council meeting a couple of times, and I noticed how Auden would throw out something for his
Hmm.
ward, and they shoot him down just like that. I'm like, well,
Hmm.
dang, And so I said,
See, and
they
see that
yeah, you know. So it's sad. It's really
right,
sad.
and see, like I said, and
Go ahead.
right. And I've looked at this area. I've looked at this area, and I've been like, he's to blame. Alwyn Samuel is the at ward member for, I mean, the ward member for this area. He's the monster. He's the one to blame. But like you just said, I've sat in some of the meetings, and it's like, okay, maybe it's the council that's really just, like it, and I don't know. I have a little bias towards Owen because of he was a representative. He was the defense attorney to a guy that carjacked me. So I have a. I'll tell. I mean, this is all honesty. I have a little bit of bias to that. But beyond that, I can still understand. Whenever somebody says that, can you work with the council member if you were on the council? I could work with even council member Samuels as an at-large candidate, even though he represented a guy that pulled me out my car and put a gun to my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever is best for the citizens is
Right.
what needs to happen. I've argued with Mike Getz online plenty of times, and I can still call on Mike Getz whenever I see something wrong with citizens. I call on Mike Getz and Taylor Neal or whoever to go ahead and address the areas that I need addressed.
Right.
Right. So I mean, it that's how it's supposed to be, because it's not you and your ego, it's the citizens that have to be represented one way or another. So like I said, regardless on what somebody's past is with somebody else or what's going on, doesn't matter. It's all about what the problem is that needs to be fixed right now. Now, like I said before, we need envision. We need visionaries. We need to have individuals that come up with their own ideals on how to solve things. We are currently sitting now, what, 4 years past Harvey, 3, 4 years past Harvey, and nothing's been changed. And it's all slow trickle effect. They say that, oh, well, we're waiting on red tape. Get it going. Like, we're going to mess around and have the next storm possibly hit before we're ready again. And then we're going to be asking FEMA for money for Hurricane Hugo or Tom or Bob. We're going to be asking now again because we're not prepared for everything that we already got paid or whatever we told them that we were going to do for Harvey. We're still worrying about getting money back, but yet we're reinvested. I say this: we invest in, and it probably costs maybe $800,000 or so, or something. Something ridiculous, probably, because they always come up with a ridiculous amount to fix something for some odd reason. Everything has to be close to $1 million for everything. I don't know who they're contacting. Like I said, same thing is you leave it all up to one individual and his group, you're going to get what you're going to get. You don't have anybody else calling around or with the authority to call around, because Mike Getz had called FEMA and got his throat ripped out by Kyle Hayes about, don't go over my head calling FEMA. Why? Like you're a representative for the city and you can't call FEMA and add, like, that? You need to get out of my face. You really need to step down. You are my employee. I'm not yours. I speak for the people. I don't get that. It won't happen with me. So
Mm-hmm.
when I say that, I come up with an ideal of the water over at Collier Park. So we got all this invested over there into Collier Park after Harvey flooded it. Okay, well, next time that it floods, we have no protection to that. So all of our investment is going to go down the drain because they didn't put a concrete and a dirt barrier around it to protect it. Like, they're doing stuff and then they're hoping for the best outcome. Oh, well, we're just going to build a station a mile up the way where it's not going to get flooded.
Right.
What about the old one, though? Are you going to keep that one, all that money you invested in it? Or are you going to take that one and move it? Or do we just lose all that money to get that thing back going? And now it's going to be sitting there as a relic. So 1,000 years from now, people are going to say, this was our first substation for raw water. Look at how amazing it was. It flooded at one point in time, and now it was rebuilt, and now we're going to make it a museum. Is that what you're doing? Because If you're not going to use it, you're going to lose it, right? One way or another. Now you have invested all this money into rebuilding it, and now you're not protecting it. We can put up a dirt barrier with a concrete wall on the inner side and the dirt sloped, and we can protect it from future flooding. And we don't even have to put in $19 million or $27 million to put in a new pipeline. We can save that money and put it to another project. We don't have to put in $19 million to the riverfront park just to build back the riverfront park when we can go ahead and do a partnership with DD6 and FEMA, since FEMA does pay for flood mitigation 50% of a lot of projects. So if we can get everybody on board with the Army Corps of Engineers for free, because the Army Corps of Engineers comes out and they do flood mitigation assessments for free. We don't have to pay anybody to come through 400,000 or $1 million to do that same study. We can get the Army Corps, the U.S. government Army Corps engineers. We can get them come through and do this assessment on flooding, and if jobs will work or not, and if it will prevent any more catastrophes. We can get them to come through. Like I said, we can rip up Delaware all the way from Dowling Road all the way to the Neches River. We can put in drainage tunnels. We can take all that concrete all the way down Delaware, all the way down to wherever it stops being concrete, which is pretty much all the way down to Magnolia, I think. We can take all that all the way down and we can dump it into the river and make it basically a jetty or make it an extension for the riverfront. And then we just put dirt on top. We can save the $19 million off of trash, basically stuff that's going to go into the landfill. We can dump it into the river and we can put dirt on top of it. So we can knock out two projects at one. We can do all these different things if we have people that are visionaries and that think outside the box. But instead, we're just thinking about spending just millions and millions of dollars, and we're giving it away to companies that are out of town, and they're not putting that money back into Beaumont. We're losing all of that money. We can have our own individuals here. We can have our own city employees do every one of these jobs. We can hire more people. For the amount of money that we're spending on contractors and on jobs, we can hire more people to do just these specific tasks. We can have a special task force. We can have these special task force go out and independently do these jobs. We have to have able bodies. We have to have the machinery, which we already have, or we can rent. We already have to rent it basically into the job bid, right? These companies that come in, they don't bring their own equipment a lot of times. They rent this stuff. So therefore, they're charging us regardless. We can do it ourselves. We can rent the same equipment. We can do it ourselves. We can train our individuals, or we can do a co-op with some of these companies to first start training our individuals into the practice of doing it the right way. Then the next job is on us alone, and we don't have to call that company no more. Then we keep it all in-house, and we keep all the tax dollars, all the money just on the clock. And that's it. We're not spending millions,
Right.
and giving it away to somebody else. We can keep this in-house. Why aren't we doing that?
Okay. You have 30 seconds to tell me and the viewers, why should we vote for you as city councilman at large?
Like I say, I've been out there. I've been doing the work. I hate to say that that's one of my biggest things, but yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the things. I'm a visionary. I visualize a lot of these things that they're actually doing. Like I said, they're not cutting off water on Fridays anymore. I'm already making policies change as a citizen. I've already looking out for people. I've been to Lawrence Drive a few times for one citizen. Been multiple times contacting TCEQ and the city of Beaumont to get this situation handled that we just went back on yesterday. Things like that have been going on for 8 years that hadn't been addressed by the city. However, it's being addressed now. There's a lady off of 900 Palermo that I went ahead and got that cone and metal plate removed that's been sitting there for 2 years. Had the city go out there and backfill that and put street over it. There's a lady off of Miss Peggy, I think it is, off of in Brickyard area that I got a container that was sitting on the side of the road, a big old trash container for a construction site that was tearing up the road. I get these things fixed. I then get this road recovered. I get all this handled because I'm on it. I've been on it. I've been basically an unofficial at-large candidate for 3 years now, putting in the work. The only thing that I would do is continue to do this and continue to be available and make myself more widely known with the position by being your at-large candidate, James Eller, number 6.
Okay, guys, you heard James Eller tonight. And don't forget, you can vote for 2 at-large members. The at-large members are Abbott A.J. Turner, Randy Felshow, James Eller Jr., Elias Ibarra, Brian Neufeld, and Tahar Karashi. So you can vote for 2 at-large. You can vote for none, 1, or 2. So James Eller, and I really, really appreciate you tonight. I really learned a lot from you tonight. That stuff that I did not know.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And so
I appreciate
it. Don't forget that Monday,
thank you.
We go out to vote on Monday. It's early voting, so it's from 8 to 5, and Monday through Friday, and then the following Monday is from 7 to 7, Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so thank you for coming out tonight. Remember, next Tuesday, I have Emily Ross. She's a licensed professional counselor. We're going to talk about PTSD and trauma and abuse. So y'all join in on Tuesday and let's listen to Emily, because she is professional. And I like to bring these counselors on because they can help us out in the long run. So I appreciate you tonight, James. Anything that I can do for you, I'm here for you. And so just
I appreciate it.
Keep working, and whatever you do, don't stop. Don't stop. We need you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate the forum just like everybody else does. I sure appreciate this opportunity to talk to your viewers and listeners out there. I thank you like everybody else does. If y'all don't hear it enough, we appreciate what y'all do.
Yes, Lord, we do. And if I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then I know that my living is not in vain. God bless you, and God keep you is my prayer. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Good night, y'all. Smooches. Bye.
Good night.
Hold on, James.